Slender Man. Now it's not a weight loss treatment. He's an internet meme, and people make up the creepiest stories they can think of. The stories change, but they've grown into urban legends that inspire dumb people to do really stupid things, apparently. Like a pair of 12-year-old girls in Wisconsin who stabbed their friend 19 times to please the fictional Slendy. These girls are obviously touched, and they think something that's totally fake is real. And our next guest believes the Surgeon General should slap warning labels on Facebook and other internet applications that might scare unstable people into committing bad acts. Dr. Keith Ablow is with us. He's a psychiatrist, and a Fox News contributor. Welcome, doctor.
Thanks for having me.
So, really, you think that the government should be putting warning labels on Facebook?
Absolutely. We're going to find out what we're already learning. We're going to learn much more dramatically. We know that Facebook decreases the connections that people feel with others. We know that it contributes to depression and anxiety. We know that it increases narcissism. This is a drug, like many technological applications, and we're going to find out that we need to manage it like a drug. And if you ask people who are in the technology space, whether video games, for instance, and internet-based games can be designed to be addictive, they'll tell you, of course they can. We can create something much more addictive than any street drug, and they are.
I think your summary of the findings is a little bit questionable there, whether or not Facebook is actually making us more disconnected. There are certainly people who make that case. There are people who make.
Why do you think
there are people who make the other case as well.
Now, why do you think that? Why are you challenging the data?
What's the data? Because you say it, all of a sudden it's magically data?
There are numerous scientific studies that have found this again and again. So unless you are going to cite some that refute the data that's
social science, and there are almost certainly studies on multiple sides of this issue. I will only say
you're just saying that
I will say
because
for
you don't
myself
like the
anecdotally, as most people, that I would debate whether or not you citing one particular study is actually a fact, or even two studies
is actually a DSM-5?
We'll go check our facts and come back. I'm a journalist. You're acting just like a commentator.
Okay, that's fine. And in either case, it seems really, really strange to me that you're concerned about the internet and not books. Do you want to ban Catcher in the Rye, or do you at least want to put a government label on that?
Not at all. Listen,
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I guess that
bit.
can be terribly frightening to children who have closets in the room and are afraid of bears.
I'm going to take you to the school of Dr. Keith Ablow. Marshall McLuhan wrote Understanding Media years ago, many years ago, and he said the medium is the message. The internet is like a direct line to people's psychological state. Why? Because it invites you into it in a way that's very different than the printed word.
There's something very interesting about free agency, because the internet, this nebulous tool that you place so much emphasis on, might invite you in, but actual free will and human agency is the one who decides how deeply to go into social. Yes, absolutely true.
You know what? That's not what people are finding. In fact, adolescents report that they don't want to care how many likes they get on Facebook. They don't want to care, but they do. And they're tying their self-esteem to it.
They've always cared about social pressure, Keith. This might be
this is very different.
It might be slightly different, but you're placing so much emphasis,
it's dramatically
you're taking emphasis away from parenting and the necessary nurturing relationship between parent and child.
No. Listen, this is already established socially and culturally. Things that are dangerous for children.
Is it in the DSM-5?
Things that are dangerous for children.
Is it in the DSM-5?
Things that are
Is it in the DSM-5?
Okay, well, this is a silly interview. It's devolving into just
You're not answering a basic question. I thought you were a doctor. You should know the DSM-5
we
forward and
work for the
backward.
same outfit for Fox. I think to keep asking, is it in the DSM-5?
Is it?
I now have to go back and explain what the DSM-5 is for folks. It's our diagnostic and statistical manual. Yes, things like depression, which Facebook contributes to, are in the diagnostic and statistical manual.
Big difference.
What's that?
Big difference, doctor.
What's the big difference?
Between causation and correlation? Certainly, you know that.
Okay, let's have an intelligent discussion. I was going to make a point here, which is that it's been long established that social and cultural phenomena that are dangerous to children are regulated. Cigarettes, alcohol, even movies that are X-rated. You can't take a 10-year-old to an X-rated movie. Well, guess what? The Oculus Rift, which is going to come out and deposit people in alternate realities, that has a psychological effect on developing kids. Why wouldn't the Surgeon General say we're going to put a warning label
And
on
by
this?
the way, reliance on government is its own form of mental illness. Doctor, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.